From the studios of Blackwater Media in the great city of Atlanta, it is time for another episode of Swamp Chat. I'm your host, Dr. William Lester, and I want to welcome everybody back in. We haven't done a Swamp Chat in a couple of weeks, and as you know, the purpose of the show is to talk about news, notes, and updates on all things Blackwater Media and related projects and activities. And so we have some things to absolutely catch up on. I want to say I hope everybody had a great 4th of July. We are now in deep summer, and it's hot as hell, it's humid as hell, and I hope you're either by the pool or by the air condition. So what's going on with Blackwater Media? Number one, I'm very happy to say that blackwatermedia.net is up and running at full strength. Why is that important? Well, because if you go back and listen to earlier Swamp Chat episodes, I talked about at that time what was coming, and now of course it's here. Now, I want to get right to the meat of this topic. Establishing Blackwater Media, or establishing blackwatermedia.net, was specifically done to remove the reliance on YouTube for the creation and dissemination and release of Blackwater Media content. I touched on it in an earlier episode. A lot of content creators, podcasters, radio guys are getting away from YouTube because of how they just absolutely carpet bombed the monetization potentiality. And then the other thing too is you do realize when you post something to YouTube that you don't own it. And so there's a question of provenance. And they've just absolutely made any kind of fiduciary horizon. It's almost, it's if it's not punitive, it's damn near non-existent. So we're migrating away. When you want to find out what's going on with Blackwater Media, you go to blackwatermedia.net. And, I know over time, over the years, YouTube has become a place of habituation. It's hard to break loose, but it's the best thing to do. Okay. Let's get back. I'm sorry for that ramble, but it's such a serious issue. And for people out there who are creating great information, who are creating quality content, it's something that's been an issue and continues to be an issue. Okay. Blackwater Media, blackwatermedia.net, has something called the Swamp Hunters Society membership. What is that? It is a paid subscription, a paid membership that allows you access to the highest quality content that Blackwater Media produces. The membership costs you $4.99 a month. And I think that's probably less than the cost of one of those ridiculous latte things that you get at Starbucks nowadays. Or whatever. One of those terrible fast food packages that you can get, the big burger meal or the big pizza, whatever it is. It's going to cost you more than $5. But for this $4.99 a month, you get exclusive access to the premium content material produced by Blackwater Media. Now, when you go to the website, what's going to jump out at you is the high volume of free content. So just go over there and maybe you're on the fence about whether or not you want to sign up. Listen to the free content. Listen to the quality. Listen to the intensity. Listen to the sound effects. Listen to the music. Listen to the essence of all the material that's there. Free content, free shows, Shadowland radio shows, free Nightfall radio show, free Historian Almanac episodes, free episodes of Darkfall, and lots of other free material at your fingertips. Listen to it and imagine how much better it gets when you become a Swamp Hunter Society member for only $4.99. Now, there are 3 stories in the Swamp Hunter Society VIP lounge right now, waiting for new members. And these are 3 amazing, insane, intense, scary stories. The first one is called My Uncle and the Dog Man, so you can just let your imagination run wild about what's going on there. The second one is called The Summer Garden, and I really like this because it is seasonally apropos, and it conjures up summers gone by with a somewhat horrific twist. The third show, the third story, is also in fact the newest story. Production on it was concluded only today, and it's called Highway Horror. And I came up with that title because it kind of reminded me of a cheesy 70s horror movie title. But they're up there. Now, there are many more coming. You might be inclined to say, well, how do I know that you're going to give us... Listen, there are more stories coming. If you're worried about volume, I can tell you 2 things. Number 1, look at the volume of high quality content that's up there on the website for free. Number 2, take your focus off of quantity and volume and put your focus on quality. Because I could do 5 shows, 5 stories, and have them out for you every week. And you know what? They'd sound like shit. And then you turn around and say, why am I paying $4.99 a month for stuff that sounds like shit? And I would say, I don't know why. I wouldn't do it. So, quality takes time. Getting the story down. Getting all the facts right. Giving it some dramatic license for entertainment value. Choosing the right background music. Choosing the appropriate sound effects. I've told you before, I don't do cartoon sound effects. I do sound effects, realistic sound effects that add to the intensity, add to the horror, add to the drama, add to the excitement. Which in the end is what you're paying for as a Swamp Hunter Society member. I don't do stories on a schedule. I do the stories as they come in, as I judge the veracity and merit of them. And there is absolutely no timetable. But when the story hits the website, it's the best thing you're going to hear online. Now, let's do a story. I want to do a story for you that's a favorite. It was very, very well received when it first came out. And I want you to listen to it. It's a story called Big Liz. And then after the story's over, I'll come back and give you some more updates and information about actually signing up for your Swamp Hunter Society membership and something special I have for you when you do that. And then also some things I want you to keep an eye on Facebook. So enjoy Big Liz. The master of the plantation was a firm supporter of the Confederate president and had committed to send as much food as he could to the Southern Army. Things were going well at first until the Yankees began attacking the master's supply lines. The master suspected a traitor among his slaves, and soon discovered that the Yankee spy was a slave woman named Big Liz. She was a behemoth of a girl who could pick up 2 full-grown pigs, one under each arm, and cart them over to the slaughterhouse without assistance. If he confronted her directly and she fought back, she would have taken him to pieces. So the master came up with a different plan to rid himself of the spy. He approached the giant girl and asked her to assist him with a special task. He told her that President Jefferson Davis had entrusted him with a large chest full of gold. To keep it out of Yankee hands, he wanted to bury the chest where it would never be found. The girl's eyes gleamed when she heard of this false report. The master knew she was already planning to betray the existence of the chest to the Yankees. The master made Big Liz carry the heavy trunk several miles out into the swampland and asked her to dig a deep hole for the trunk. He sat at his leisure while she worked and strained for hours against the muddy ground, which kept oozing back into the hole. When the slave girl was completely exhausted, the master decreed the hole to be large enough for his war chest. Wearily, Big Liz dropped the shovel and pulled the heavy chest down until it lay at her feet. Then she started to climb out of the deep hole. But the master barred her way, and Big Liz gazed up at him in sudden fear as he loomed over her. "Traitor! Yankee spy!" the master hissed. "There's only one path open to a traitor." The master swung his sword at her, and the sharp edge of the blade cut clean through the slave girl's neck. Her head went rolling away into the tall grass as her body toppled across the chest. The master heaped dirt over the chest and the body of the slave girl who had betrayed him. Briefly, he considered finding her head and burying it in the pit with her body. But it was too dark to go wandering in the dangerous marshland, and he knew that scavengers would make short work of the head when they found it. As the master walked toward home through the dark swamp, he became aware of a prickling sensation at the back of his neck, as if someone were watching him. The master walked faster as clouds obscured the light of the moon. The master's teeth chattered as a breeze cut through him like the sharpened blade of the sword at his side, and his straining ears picked up the sound of footsteps on the path behind him. The master was filled with a terrible superstitious dread of demons and witches and ghosts. He broke out in a panicked run, fleeing up the path as fast as his legs would carry him. To his relief, he saw the lights of his house rise before him and knew he was home. As he rounded the back corner of his house, he was confronted by a massive, dirt-encrusted figure that glowed with blue fire. The smell of rotting leaves and marsh grass filled his nostrils as his eyes raced up and up the tall creature until they rested on the stump of its neck, where a head had resided only an hour before. Then he heard a chuckle from the creature's side, and he saw the phantom's head tucked under her arm. The master stumbled backwards, gabbling desperately in fear as the ghost placed her head upon the ground with one hand and grabbed the collar of his shirt with the other. The murdered slave girl snapped the master's neck in two and dropped his dead body to the ground beneath his bedroom window. Then Big Liz gathered up her severed head and vanished into the darkness. They say that on the anniversary of her death, the ghost of Big Liz still may be seen roaming the swamplands near her old home. Anyone foolish enough to walk near her grave will be driven away by the phantom, which to this day still defends the place where the Confederate chest is buried. And I hope you guys enjoyed that. That was Big Liz. a very popular story here at Blackwater Media, and it is a perfect example of what you can expect as a Swamp Hunters Society premium content member. You get just fabulous tales like that. So again, blackwatermedia.net. Now, I have something I told you before the story that I was going to have some little incentive for you to go over and become a member, get your membership. So here's what's going to happen. The first 2 members who sign up and get their $4.99 per month membership, the first 2 of you will receive the online demonology course from the American Institute of Metaphysics. This is great, especially if you also happen to be a student or have an interest in the occult or demonology or anything paranormal. And the fact that you're here suggests that you probably do. But the first 2 members will receive the online demonology course. Now, I can tell you this. First of all, if you go over to the American Institute of Metaphysics.com, you'll see that this is a course that costs $180. So this is not some kind of cheesy little half-ass giveaway. All right. This is a big deal. It's a well-researched course. It has a lot of time and effort and energy and study put into its development. And it is the most requested course material from the American Institute of Metaphysics. So it's something that exists at a high level of demand, and it's going directly to the first 2 Swamp Hunters Society members. So there you go. Okay, now a couple things going down on Facebook. You know that we've been talking about the Blackwater website, but of course before that existed, there was Blackwater Media, a Facebook page. I want you to continue to check in there. Those of you who are thinking about signing up, there's those 3 stories I told you about, my uncle and the dog man, the summer garden, and highway horror. There are previews there. Go over to Blackwater Media Facebook page and listen to the previews and tell me you don't want to hear the rest of all of those stories. So they're there for you to preview. There are things there going way back. There were full stories that exist as free content. Okay. Now, also check out the Paranormal Society Facebook page. Because, all of these things are really under an umbrella of projects and activities and business enterprises. Go over, check out the Paranormal Society. And of course, you'll see Blackwater Media material there. It's a great place for people to interact and see and share and read. Really hard-hitting, fascinating material related to the paranormal, related to cryptozoology, related to the issue of UFOs. And also, most recently, a new group that just started this past week that I want you to check out, and it's called Dogman Odyssey Facebook group. And there, again, you'll find Blackwater Media material because the Dogman topic is one of the cornerstone story elements, obviously, with Blackwater Media. But you'll see that. You'll see great images, photos, illustrations, articles, sightings, encounters, and what have you. So those are the 3. Of course, yes, the American Institute of Metaphysics Facebook page. They all kind of circulate and generate and hum at the same frequency. So if you're interested in one, there's no doubt you'll be interested in the other. So I think that does it. Things are happening, and so as new things develop, we'll do other Swamp Chat shows. So just to recap, guys, blackwatermedia.net is up and ready for you. Get your Blackwater Media Swamp Hunters Society membership, $4.99 a month, and you're good to go. 3 great stories: My Uncle and the Dog Man, The Summer Garden, and Highway Horror. You can hear them previewed on the Blackwater Media Facebook page. Check those out. First 2 members get the online demonology course from the American Institute of Metaphysics. Hey guys, listen, have a great rest of your Saturday. Have a great rest of your weekend. And I'll see you guys next time here on Swamp Chat.